Good morning, everybody. My name is Pat LaPointe. I'm a member of the Leominster Historical Commission. We're here this morning to do a little bit of a review of a project that was completed last year and was rededicated in December of 2015. It's regarding the town pound, the animal pound that's been here since the early 1700s. If you'd like to take a walk with me, we can begin now. I'll show you some pictures later on, which will give you the reason why I really want to start here. But we're at the corner of Summer Street and Carter Park, and let's go over and look at the animal pound. Okay, here we are at the site of the pound, and we've been joined today by the other members of the Leominster Historical Commission. I'd like to thank them for coming this morning. Back in 2009, believe it or not, I was approached by the chairman of the commission, Mike Z. Pimarini, asking me if I'd be interested in helping them with reestablishing and actually rebuilding the town pound. So at that point, I was starting a research on my book that I'm doing on the history of DPW. So while I was doing that research, I went in through the town meeting notes, and as early as 1749, the town selectmen chose Daniel Robbins as the pound keeper, the first pound keeper. So obviously there was a pound somewhere in town. And through research, we found out that the town was built and then rebuilt again. And in 1816, they said it was rebuilt. But more importantly, in 1895, they appropriated $15 for rebuilding the town pound. And each time they did that, they said we were going to build it in the same spot it was before. So as far as we know, and through discussions of the history of the pound, we determined that it was in this location. But we never liked to guess. So we went through and researched some old maps of the city. And actually at that time it was a town. And if you can see this is Evergreen Cemetery. And this is a atlas, the Worcester County Atlas, and it's a print of this particular section of Leominster. And when you enlarge it, here we are at the corner of Summer Street and Carter Park, and it shows the pound. And we see this on several other maps, including this version from 1952, and it was here as long as that. We figure that it was here into the early 1960s. So we came to the site, and this area, if you can picture it, was all overgrown. This fence was pushed in, a couple of railings that were cracked and broken, and it was full of brush. So we went inside the brush, and we noticed there was a bunch of stones laying on the ground. So we determined that this was probably the site of the town pound. We got the maps, we got the stones. So we went ahead and we cleared the site of all the trash. It was a dump site at this point. And lo and behold, when we took all the trees out, all the brushes out, we saw the foundation stones of the town pound. It was shaped in a U shape. And we said, this is it. So we went ahead and we poured a whole bunch of compacted gravel in here. We compacted it, we let it sit. We topped it again, level it off, compacted it, and let it sit for another year. And then we started to build the pound in 2014. It took a while. We did it based on donations of stone. There's a bunch of people in Leominster that donated stone. Jimmy Whitney being one, Jimmy Exaris being another, Senator Bob Antonioni very generously donated the fieldstone. We decided to make it a fieldstone wall, as you can see, because the old wall was much heavier than this. And we know that because we have pictures. And if you bear with me with the wind blowing, the reason we started at the corner of Carter Park was that's just where we came from. And it's a picture of this shop with the town pound. Let me blow that up for you. It's an even tighter view of it. And what it shows there is heavy fieldstone walls surrounded in a box shape, 20 feet by 20 feet roughly, with a white wooden gate fence. So that's what we wanted to build here. But we weren't going to use old construction methods. We were going to use lighter stone, just as pretty, just as effective. And as you can see, We kept the specifications at 20 feet by 20 feet, and we built it to those specs. It took about 6 or 8 months throughout the year. And then the only part we had left to do was the gate. So we decided to let a Eagle Scout candidate, and he came in, worked with a bunch of kids, and they cleaned up this area. They put a little walkway in front of it, painted the fence, got rid of all the weeds, all the brush. They emptied the pound of leaves. They leveled it off inside, and then the final touch was building a gate. They were helped by the DPW employees, and in particular, Dave Smith donated the lumber. He has his own sawmill, and Kevin Iacone. So what we have here is what we feel is a beautiful replica of the old town pound that sat here for about 150 years. And we're very, very thrilled with the results of the project. Thank you.